All right, Myles, you've been digesting the jobs report. Give me your hot take.
Yeah, it's a way to say it. Running around this room trying to figure out how to get online. Look, I think this is the kind of report that we've been waiting for several months, where we expected there to be a beat on the headline number, but underneath the surface here as well. And I know you guys talked through this a lot with Mark, especially the repairing in the labor market that we all know needs to happen is certainly on display here. And I think that unemployment number is a big part of that, right? Where you have a flat participation rate, so that brings the unemployment rate up as you know, a few more people come into the labor market, a few more people start looking for jobs. But something Nick Bunker over at Indeed just flagged for us is that the participation rate among 25 to 54-year-olds, so the prime age labor force participation rate, that is now at its highest level since February 2020, and that's where we're going to have a lot of the repair in this labor market if we are indeed to make anything like a full labor market recovery over the next, let's call it 12 to 18 months or so. We are going to need to see more people in their prime working years re-engage with the labor force. That participation rate went from about 83% to just south of 80% over a 2-month span during the pandemic. We know that participation rate was brought down disproportionately by women leaving the workforce, oftentimes as a result of taking on additional household responsibilities with kids out of school, with everybody working from home. So that inequality in this recovery, takes another form when you look at the gender breakdown, in addition to, the racial disparities that we've seen, the disparities by income bracket that we've also seen in this recovery. And so just again, to go back to the point though, on the prime age labor force continuing to re-engage at a faster rate with the economy, with the labor market, I think really cannot be overstated as such an important part of the labor market getting back to normal. And it's, I know we'll talk about it later in the show, but it's a little bit of the flip side of what we wrote about in the newsletter this morning, where retirements have accelerated. So you have people coming out of the labor force that, they pulled forward perhaps their departure from the labor force. And the only way to make up for that slack, to bring total employment back to pre-pandemic levels, is for more people of a younger age to work more, to work more in the aggregate. And so we're starting to see some signs of that. And I think it's encouraging. Granted, it is 1 month and we'll see where things go over the rest of the summer, but that's the kind of shift that we need to start to see. It's the kind of shift economists have been waiting for. And it's the kind of shift that suggests the path towards full repair is underway, because I think the last couple of months certainly, cast some doubt on that thinking.
And Myles, to your point there, I think the next few months is going to be telling on that front. And you mentioned the fact that women have been disproportionately affected by the pandemic. We've seen a large number of women leave the workforce, at least for the time being. So I think as schools restart over the next couple of months, we know childcare has been a massive issue in this bounce back in the labor market. So as more children return to school, whether or not we see those women re-enter the workforce, I think that will be key just in terms of gauging the timing of this labor market recovery. And then, of course, just how long it takes to correct this labor shortage, it kind of goes to the same point there. But we heard Mark Zandi saying he was pretty confident that would correct over the coming months. I think that will be very, very telling. Certainly, we have this supply-demand imbalance right now. We talked to a number of business leaders yesterday who are struggling with that personally. They're paying higher wages as a result. They're doing everything they can, offering increased benefits in order to not only attract new workers, but just retain the workers that they have right now. So I think looking at this report, looking at the headline numbers, it's a very, very strong step in the right direction. But I think still remains to be told whether or not this type of momentum here can continue throughout the summer and then, of course, throughout the fall as well.